Hi, in this program, let's try to build a turtle crossing game. So this is a turtle which is trying to cross the road, and on the road there are cars passing. Now the turtle has to escape the cars and reach the other side of the road. So I will show you how the game looks like. So this is how the game is looking like. So these are all cars. All these rectangles that you are seeing, they are all cars. And now there is a turtle here. Now the turtle can only move up, and the cars will be moving from the right to left. You can also design it to move from left to right. That is up to you. But I have designed it from right to left. And now our turtle is actually trying to cross the play the game. Now the turtle is actually trying to cross the road. So you can see that. Let us see if he will be able to cross the road. So the turtle is slowly crossing the road, and that is why it is called turtle crossing game. Yeah. So the turtle has moved to the other, and you might have seen that initially level is 1. Now whenever the turtle has crossed the road and reached the other side, the level will be 2 and the game will start again. And if you observe it now, the speed of the cars have increased. Okay, so I have increased it by 10. You can increase it by any number that you want. If 10 is too high, you can reduce it to 1 or 2. But anyway, the speed is increasing. Again, the turtle will try to cross. Again, it will go to level 3. So here there is no score, only levels are there. And whenever there is a collision with the car, then it is showing game over. So this is a simple game that we want to design. Now let us see what are the steps involved in designing this game. Okay. So first thing is you have to create and move the turtle with key press, which means if you press up, our turtle has to move up. That is the first step. And then create and move the cards. Cards should move from right to left or left to right. That is up to you. And then you have to detect the collision with the car. Whenever there is a collision with the car, you have to say game over. You have to detect the collision. So when you have the same way that we have detected collision in the snake game, we can detect the collision here. So you can use the distance and then detect the turtle. Detect when the turtle reaches the other side. When the turtle has crossed the road, you have to change the level and increase the speed of the cars. Okay, and then create a scoreboard. So basically, the scoreboard is responsible for saying what is the level that you are presently in, and also when the game is over, scoreboard will say game over. So these are all the things that we want to do. Now in the next video, we will try to start the code and write the base code first. What is the base skeleton, and then gradually one by one we will implement all these steps. Okay, thank you. Hi, before we start, let's try to write the base code, the starting code, and create all the files that we are going to use in the program. So first thing is I want to create a turtle, and that is actually crossing the road. Let's call it the player. So I'm going to create a new file called player.py, and inside the player.py I will actually write the class which is responsible for creating the turtle that is crossing the road. See, everything in this program is a turtle. Cars are turtles, player is a turtle, car manager is a turtle. So everything is a turtle, but here what turtle I am talking about is the actual turtle that is trying to cross the road. So it has to start at a starting position. So starting with, I think it is minus 280 here. Just check the number once. Minus 280. So the starting position where our turtle is going to start is at the bottom of the screen, at the middle. That is why x-axis is 0, x-coordinate is 0, and the y-coordinate is minus 280. You know, we are going to create the screen 600 by 600, which means the y-axis will go from minus 300 to 300, and I don't want the turtle to be at the edge. I want it to be little inside. That is why the starting position is created as minus 280. And then the move distance. So whenever I press the up key, our turtle has to move by 10 pixels. You can actually play with these numbers. You can have 20 or 5 or whatever you want, you play with those numbers. I have used 10. And now we have to detect when the turtle has reached the uh, other side of the screen. There, so here I am going to use 280 as the y coordinate, and the x coordinate is 0 and the y coordinate is 280. So when I reach the top end of the screen, not till 300, I want to detect it at 280. So this is where it is going to detect. Now, one thing why we are using always constants at the top of the screen is later if you want to, if you directly use these numbers in your program, later if I want to change the numbers, you have to change lot of numbers at multiple positions and you have to read the entire code. Whenever you have constants at the top of the file, it will be easy for you to modify the numbers. Okay, always try to write the whenever there are constants, always declare them as constants in Python or any programming language. Whenever you have numbers, declare them as constant so that modifying will be easy. Now let's create player class. Later we will make it inherit the turtle class from turtle module. For now we are not doing anything, so let's put pass there. And now let's create one more file called car manager, which is responsible for creating the cars and then managing them. So car underscore manager.py is the file name, and all our car colors are going to be from this list. That is why I am having a list of colors, so that randomly I can generate one color for every car whenever it is generated. And then starting move distance. So how much distance each car has to move every time. So initially, let's have it as 5. You can have your number, you experiment it and you find out your whatever is working for you. I am moving it by a distance of 1, and then whenever there is a level up, whenever we are going to the next level, we have to increase the car speed. So for that we are using move increment of 10. And now we are creating the class car manager. Car manager is responsible for everything that happens with the car. When we think about creating car, we are going to use it. And let's put pass there. And then let's create scoreboard. Scoreboard is responsible for writing that level 1, level 2, level 3, and also game over. So when the game gets over, it is going to type game over. So for that we are going to use it. And you know there is something called as font in the write method of the turtle. You might have seen that in the earlier classes also. There is a write method. In the write method we are supposed to give the font, and I am taking it as a constant. It is a tuple of 3 values. So I have given some numbers. Again, these numbers you experiment and you see which one works best for you. I have taken a size of 24, and font also I have used Courier. You can use any other font you want. And we have created the class scoreboard, and for now we are not doing anything. Let's go to main and import all this. From player, we are going to import the player class, and from car manager, we are going to import the car manager class, and from scoreboard, we are going to import the scoreboard. And we are going to import turtle from turtle module. Now importing time for the refresh time. So, and all the other things that we are going to put corresponding to screen, we are going to put them here. So just like how we did in Pong game and Snake game, we want the screen to be set up. So we are using screen object, and then we are setting up its height and width to be 600 by 600. It is always better to use keyword arguments so that it will be clear what we are typing there. Anyone who is reading it, it will be easy for them to understand. And now we want to turn off the tracer so that we don't want that motion. If you see the turtle created at the origin always, and it will move to the left or right, we don't want to see that, so we are turning it off. And then we are having a while loop where we are going to put refresh. So every 0.1 seconds we are going to refresh the screen so that the movement will not be seen. It will appear as if they suddenly appear at some point. So we are using a sleep time of 0.1, which means every 0.1 second this update is going to happen. And then exit on click, you are anyway going to do, right? So next, let's try to create the actual turtle, which is trying to cross the road, okay? Not the car turtles, the actual turtle, okay? Thank you. Let's now create the turtle that is actually trying to cross the road, okay? So for that, we have to write the behavior of the turtle. So first, let's try to import turtle. And player is the class that we are using here for the turtle. And now player will inherit turtle class. So player is going to inherit turtle class. And you have to write init and super init. So you have to always write this whenever you are writing inheritance. And then change the shape of the turtle to turtle. By default, an arrow is going to be coming up on the screen, but I want it to look like a turtle. So that is why I am putting it as turtle, shape size as turtle. And the size, let us have it as it is with 20 by 20. Let's not modify it, the size. And as it is moving, I don't want the turtle to draw anything on the screen. That is why we are using pen up. So pen up will actually help us in not drawing the line. Otherwise, as the turtle is moving, it will keep on drawing the line. So pen up. And then where should it go to? So that should go to the starting position, which we have already taken in the constant. Again, starting position is a tuple. So go to, we are passing a tuple, it will work. You don't have to pass two values. You can directly write the tuple also, it will work. It is in the documentation, you can see. Either it can take two values or it can take a tuple. And then let us make it face to the north direction, upwards. If I don't write like this, line, set heading, then what happens is turtle will be facing to the right side. By default, it will be created at the center or any place, but it will be looking at the right. But I want it to face to the north direction. That is why I am using set heading as 90. Now let's go to main and create the object, player. And let's see what is created. Let's run it. Now you can see that there is a turtle created here. Okay. At the position minus 280, 0 and minus 280, it is created here. Now what we want is, we want it to move up whenever I type the up key. So you know how to do that, event listener. We have to listen to these events and then call the event listener and then write a method about what should happen when the key is typed. So let's write that. Screen dot listen. Our screen will start listening to the events. And then whenever the event, so we are going to say arm key, whenever the event is up, up means up arrow, UP, capital UP means up arrow. Whenever it happens, I want to call some method, and that method is going to be present inside the player class. I have to write it. Dot go up is the name of the method. Now if you observe one thing, we are not putting parentheses over here. We are not putting parentheses because whenever a function is passed as an argument to other function, you should not put parentheses. You should only give the name of it. Calling part, that will call. Okay. So now let's go to the player class and write the method go up. It is simply moving the position of the going forward, of our turtle to forward. So self dot forward is what we are writing. It will simply move the turtle forward by move distance amount, and the move distance here is 10. Okay. So 10 by default is going to be here. Later if you want to change it, you can directly change it here. You need not change it here. Okay. Now if you observe it, now let's try to see. Now when I am typing move up, it is actually moving up by 10 pixels, right? So now one part of the program is over where our turtle is moving. Now let's create cars and let's move them. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's now create the cars. Let's now go to the car manager and let's see how to create cars. Okay, so inside the car manager, let's import turtle, because every car is a turtle. See, the actual turtle crossing the road is a turtle, and all the cars are also turtles. Okay. So from the turtle, we are importing turtle, and we need random for doing multiple things here. I'll show you. One is we want to randomly choose a color, and second thing is I want to randomly position the cars along the y-axis. Initially, let's create a list which is going to hold all the cars, a empty list. So why this list is important is, see, if you are playing the game and if you don't want to detect the collision, then that is fine. You don't have to save all the cars that are created. But if you want to detect the collision with every car and the turtle, then you have to save all the cars somewhere. How many? Because hundreds of cars are created. All of them have to be saved somewhere. And then you are going to compare the collision with all these 100 cars or how many are cars. So that is why we are using a cars list. Now let's try to create a car. So we are going to create a new car as an object of turtle class. We are creating a new car as an object of turtle class, and its shape we are giving it to be square. And then we have to actually create a rectangle, not a square. Rectangle is not in turtle directly. So I have created a square and I am actually increasing its width by, it is a 20 by 20 shape. Now I want the width to be 40 and the height to be 20. So that is why we are using width as 2. 2 is the stretch factor, which means actual size will be multiplied by 2, and the length I don't want to change anything. That is where I am going to put 1. There is a problem with this line. I will show you. There is a problem with that line. I don't know how turtle is implemented, but there is problem with this one. I will show you. And then we are going to do pen up. As the cars are moving, we don't want to draw a line For that, we are going to do pen up. When I do pen up, it is not going to draw a line. I just want that shape to be moving, not the line. And then we have to set the color of the car, which we are going to take randomly from the list of colors we have written earlier. From the list of colors. So colors is a list which contains some colors. From that randomly I am choosing. See, this colors is a list which is containing some colors. From that I am randomly choosing one color. And now the position is important. So where are we going to place it? So for the position part, see, it is always going to start at the right end, and the right end's x coordinate is 300. And coming to the y coordinate, the height at which they have to be created, that y coordinate is tricky part. That is why we are using random package, random int. So randint, we are choosing a random number from 280 to minus 280. We don't want to go to the edges because I want to give some space for the turtle which is trying to cross the road, and I don't want the cars to be created at the edge, at the bottom last. So we are going to use minus 250, minus 250 to 250. You can play with these numbers. We have played with these numbers and we have found out these numbers are working fine for us. You play with these numbers, you don't have to by heart them. So minus 250 to 250, one random number will be generated, and at that position we are creating a car. So car go to method will be used. 300 on the x-axis, and then that random number which we have generated, random y, on the y-axis. And then after the car is created, we are adding it to the list of all cars, so that later we can go through the list of all cars and we can check if there is a collision. That is why we are using the list of all cars here. Now let's try to create cars. Create the car manager object. And after creating the car manager object, now create cars has not been called. Create cars has to be called inside the while loop. So let's try to create cars. Now what happens is, hold on. Now in this while loop, at every 0.1 second, a new car is created. So why? Because we are sleeping for 0.1 second and then this code is going to get executed. Now after every 0.1 second, one car is going to be created onto the screen. Now let's try to see. Now you can see that, I think you can see some colors being printed here. So why? Because they are all created but they are not moved yet. We didn't write the code to move the cars. They are created at 300 edge. Is it visible? They are created at the 300 x coordinate, which means slightly outside the screen. And now they are not actually moving. That is why you are not seeing them. Let's try to move it and see. Let's write the function for moving. Move cars. So for each car in the list, whichever is created, for each car in the list, we are going to take the car and we are going to move it. So since it is from right side to left side, we are saying move backward. So we are calling, instead of forward, we are calling backward because they are going from right side to left side. So backward by some distance. starting distance. Later we will change it every whenever we do level up, level up, level up. This is going to change. Okay, for now let's try to see it. Let's try to move the cars. Now every 0.1 second, the cars are going to be moved. Now all the cars you can see they are all moving. There is a problem here. The problem is I wanted the shape to be stretched across the width, but it's stretched across the length. So that is the problem I was talking about. So in the turtle module, the shape size, whenever you give it width and length, it is actually acting in the opposite. So width is actually length and length is actually width. So that is why let's change it. Whatever code we have written is right, but somehow the implementation is wrong. So in the other games also I have observed this. Now here stretch width is not stretched, length is stretched. And now when I stretch length is not stretched, width is stretched. So let's try to change both of them. Now we'll go according to them, but actually this is wrong. This is wrong implementation. Now if I see that, now you can see that cars are created and they are all coming from right to left. But you can see one problem here. There are too many cars. Our turtle cannot cross the road at all with these many cars. So let's try to reduce the number of cars by using random package. In the random package, let's throw a dice, and whenever we come up with one, we will create a car, which means we want to create a car every 1 out of 6 times, not every time, 1 out of 6 times. So let's try to roll a dice. So for that we are using random int 1, 6. So what happens is one random number is generated between 1 and 6, and you can choose a number, and only if that number comes up you are going to create the cars. All these car creation will happen. If the random choice is 1, you can take any number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. In these numbers you can take any number. I am taking number 1. So again, what is the meaning of this? I am randomly picking up a number from 1 to 6, and whenever the number happens to be 1, then only I am going to create a car, which means out of 6 times, only 1 time the cars are created. Therefore, the number of cars will be reduced on the screen. Okay. So now you can see that the number of cars are reduced and you can easily cross the road now. Okay. But the other functionality has to be added. We will see in the next videos. Okay. Thank you.